Are you currently preparing for a project management interview? Or maybe you're just getting ready in case you're invited for one? Then this video is for you, because in this video, I'll be sharing 5 common and popular project management questions that come out in interviews. I can tell you that you are most likely to encounter 1, 2, or even all of these questions on your next interview. So by the end of this video, my aim is that you'll be able to answer these questions confidently in case they ever come up in any project management interview that you go in for. So what are we waiting for? Let's go. Welcome back, and hi to all my subscribers. Thank you for being here and for learning together. If you're new here, my name is Ogaga Johnson. I'm a project management leader, and on this channel, I share everything about project management, including life lessons from my project management career and business. So if you're interested in starting or advancing your career in project management, then click on the subscribe button and let's learn together. So we are going to go diving right into these 5 questions. Now remember, these are project management based questions. So these 5 questions, they are not going to be like, oh, tell me about yourself. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? These are generic and common interview questions. The aim of this video is to share 5 common project management scenario based questions and answer them so that you can then take my responses, my answers, and tailor it based on your project management experience so you can ace that interview. So in no particular order, let's jump right into question number 1. Tell me about a time when you had to manage a challenging project. What were the obstacles you faced and how did you overcome them? Now, this particular question can be asked in different ways. Tell me about a time when you manage a complex project. Tell me about a time when you manage a project end to end. It can be asked in different ways. But the aim of this question is to check how you're able to effectively manage complex or difficult projects and how you're able to tackle the obstacles that come along the way as you manage a project, because not every project will go as planned. In fact, most projects don't go according to plan. So how would you manage those obstacles? Now, here is the typical way I'll answer this question. In my previous role, I managed a project where the scope changes were very frequent due to the ever-evolving client requirements. Because this project was managed in a waterfall environment, it meant that changes had to be monitored and managed very closely. To address this, I implemented a robust change management process involving regular stakeholder meetings to assess impact of different changes that were brought in and to adjust timelines and resources accordingly based on the decision made on the change that was requested. This approach helped maintain client satisfaction and project profitability. So this answer shows your ability to set up structures to deal with obstacles. Basically, your problem solving in a process systematic driven way, which shows that, critical thinking is there. And also, in addition, you can carry your stakeholders along in whatever project you're managing despite the obstacles faced. Okay, that's question number 1. So let's move on to question number 2. How do you prioritize tasks and manage deadlines when you are managing multiple projects with competing deadlines? This question, it's a trick question. They are basically trying to see what your prioritization methodology is, how you're able to prioritize different project tasks, how you're able to use time management effectively. So here is how I'll answer it. I prioritize tasks based on urgency and impact on the project milestones. I use tools like priority matrices, critical path analysis, and my project management software to identify critical tasks and allocate resources effectively. I also ensure that I align according to my key stakeholder or my project sponsors priority, the project agreement in terms of the various project timelines so that I'm in line with them. Also, I regularly monitor and adjust these timelines, ensuring that deadlines are met without compromising quality. This answer is great because it shows that you can leverage on various tools in order to prioritize your task, and it also shows shows that you are regularly monitoring, because you understand that timelines and deadlines could change. So you're actively regularly monitoring and you're aligning with your project sponsor or project stakeholder on those timelines to ensure that you have the current version and you are going to meet the set, whether it's agreements or contracts that have been in place for the project. All right, now let's move on to question number 3. Describe a time when you successfully led a team through project completion. Now, this question is just really trying to see how your leadership skills, how you lead your team, motivate and influence them in order to go from project initiation to project completion, basically to deliver on the project objectives and deliverables. So here's how I answer this question. In my recent role, I led a cross-functional team on a software implementation project where clear communication and collaboration were critical. I established weekly team meetings to discuss progress and challenges, ensuring everyone was aligned with the project goals. By doing this, I ensured that the team had a very supportive environment, leveraging on the team's strengths. In addition, I built a good professional relationship with the team that helped me and enabled me to have influence over them, to motivate them to get work done. As a result of this, we completed the project ahead of schedule and on quality and budget. Now, like I said earlier, if you're applying for roles like, mid-senior or senior level roles, this particular question, you're most likely not going to miss it because you're going to be handling a cross-functional team, or at least have people that are reporting to you. So you're a people manager per se. So they need to check your leadership skills and see if you're able to motivate your team, influence them to get work done, and basically deliver on objectives. So how are we doing so far? Good. Now let's move on to question number 4. Tell us about a time when you encountered significant pushback on a project. How did you navigate the situation? Now, this particular question, you are most likely to have it. I know I've said that like so many times, but because most projects, you may have a difficult stakeholder, or you could have a difficult stakeholder. So this question is really on stakeholder engagement. How are you going to engage your stakeholders effectively to get buy-in from them and to ensure that they're either leading or supportive as a stakeholder? That is what this question is asking, okay? So here's how I will answer it. In my previous role, I managed a process improvement project. This process improvement project was as a result of the audit outcome from our financial processes, where we need to put in more control. This means that the team that handle that financial operations will have to, go through multiple or additional steps in their usual day-to-day process. As a result of that, the head of department and head of operations were resistant because they were concerned about, more time in terms of people needing more time to do the work. They were concerned about disruptions and just the learning curve of everything. Now, to address this, I met with the head of the department and the head of operations and had one-on-one conversations with them, using my active listening skills to understand their concerns. And based on their concerns, we brainstormed solutions and picked a solution that we were going to all, compromise on in order to ensure that the improvement that we needed to do was done. I also helped them to understand the vision for the project, that at the end of the day, we'll be leveraging technology to ensure that the time spent on the process wasn't going to be as much as before, and it will further improve efficiency and effectiveness of the entire team. I also proposed a phased rollout so that one section of the operations would try it out first and use them as super users, basically, to encourage others to adopt the new process. I also arranged a pilot program in the department to minimize any risk and allow them to see the benefits firsthand. Through regular check-ins and support, I was finally able to get their buy-in, and the project was successfully implemented with a 75% adoption rate in the first week of implementation, leading to significant improvements in efficiency and in control that helped us to pass our audit check when we did another audit assessment in the following year. How was that? that answer basically shows that, hey, you have active listening skills, you're able to brainstorm solutions whenever a problem arises with your stakeholders, you're able to communicate the business vision, and you're also able to engage and work with stakeholders to get buy-in. So this question is very, very important when it comes to showcasing your stakeholder engagement abilities and also your ability to turn a difficult stakeholder into a leading and supportive stakeholder. All right, now let's move on to the final question, and that is question number 5. How do you handle conflicts within a project team? Now, this question, obviously, it's part of leadership, power skills. The reason is because, you're working with a team to deliver your project. So there'll be one conflict or the other that may arise in the project. So they want to know, how are you able to ensure that conflicts that arise on your project doesn't hinder the success of the project? Now, here's how I'll answer it. I address conflicts by promoting open communication and understanding among team members. Whenever a conflict arises, I facilitate constructive discussions to identify the root cause of the conflict and encourage collaborative problem solving. In addition to that, I ensure that once I have a team, I implement team building activities, and also I recognize individual contributions. I've noticed that doing this helps me to foster a positive team dynamic, which eventually minimizes conflicts and enhances productivity amongst team members. Now, did you see the way I answered that? 2 parts. How I will, resolve a conflict. So basically my reactive way. And then I also included a proactive way to ensure that even conflicts are minimal. So I'm not always firefighting, resolving things. That is a good way to approach the answer to that question. All right. So those are 5 common interview questions for project management. Now, those are not all the questions, but they're my top 5 questions. I hope that with these questions, you're able to prepare and ace your next project management interview. Don't forget to tailor these questions that I've discussed based on your own project management experience. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the content, to share them with friends and family so that they can learn as well. And if you're interested in learning more about interviews, how to ace your interviews, then check out my other video where I share about 3 tips in order to ace your next interview. And if you do so, I will see you in a few seconds. Bye.